Blog Talk Radio.
Peace to the gods. You're listening to Hindsight Radio.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Truth Tuesday Show with your host, Akeem L, here on Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. I hope everyone had a peaceful week last week. I know challenges came up, but I hope that you overcame them and you remained in peace and in love in all that you do or did. Myself, I had a great week last week. I can't complain. Yes, things came up that, potentially could have taken me out of my peace. And at times I did shift to briefly unpeaceful mindset. But we have to keep in mind what Reverend Ike just said. A man's enemies is in his own mind. That's where all of the foes are. That's where all of the problems, the issues. It's in your thoughts. It's in your mind. It's not anywhere else. Yes, you see things happening out there. For instance, we got, this pandemic, plandemic, fake-demic, whatever you want to call it, scam-demic, whatever you want to call it, whatever your belief system is. It only affects you as if you participate in the mindset of it. You associate with those minds that believe in it, and then you get scared and I feel a little something. I'm going to go see what the doctor says and let him fix me because my body is not able to do it. I don't trust the body that God gave me to do it. I trust man and his manufactured medication to fix me. You see, the world has got us disillusioned, got us distracted from our own true power that we were born with. So the enemies and the foes that you have is created by your belief system, what you see. It reminds me of a story I've told a few times where, it's in the Bible how they saw Christ walking on water. Peter wanted to do what Christ did, and he said, come on out and walk. And he briefly was able to do it until he looked at the storm. That is so real for us. That's a symbolism, a metaphorical story for what we deal with on a daily basis. We could be able to walk on water, do powerful things. That's what walking on water represents. Anything that is mentioned in the Bible when it comes to water represents people, represents many people, a sea, a crowd of people. So what that really represents with Christ walking on water, he's walking on his mind, his mental is elevated above briefly elevate his mind above what the world mind is and was able to walk on water until he took on the mindset of the world and he started to sink down to the level of the world. See, that's what that story really means. He started to think like them, so he was going to become like them, and he was going to drown in their negative thinking. And we're dealing with that every day. We are confronted with those challenges every day, in every situation. We can choose to walk above the water, walk above the situation, walk above the people that are thinking in the lower mindsets, or we can choose to think like them and walk with them and drown with them. Because that's what the story represents. That whole water represents is a sea of people who are drowning in their negative thinking, who cannot see their own divinity, their own power. They have chosen not to take dominion over their situation. So the real enemy is our thoughts. If we have negative thoughts, that's an enemy thought. That's a devil thought. And that's going to create more chaos in your life. So you always got to think positive. So another thing, when I was listening to Eckhart Tolle, and he was talking about losing and things that you get come from chaos or come from a real, what you seem to be traumatic situation. So in order to get peace, chaos has to come because it challenges your reaction to that chaos. If you talk to most successful people, billionaires, whoever, that are really successful, they always have chaos before they got their true, what do you call it? Their true success. Something came. And then when they talk about that chaos or that problem that they had or they thought was a problem, it wasn't as bad as they initially assumed it to be. They saw the light, they saw the power in the situation that elevated them. And I'm seeing people do this all the time. In a seemingly what they found chaotic situation, they was able to find peace and speak peace into the lives of others. I've been a witness of this over the past week. And it's truly amazing to see that transformation because once a person clicks and they get that, there's no going back. Once you experience that, there's no going back to that. There's no going back to that sea of negative thinking, being on the level of where everybody else is. They just rose up, walked on water, so to speak. Now they're walking in a positive light. They're walking above. You see? And that's why I told you guys, I have to keep teaching this and going, because since I dedicated this show to just talking about spiritual things, I'm seeing transformation in people's that I've been hoping for, and it's happening. It's happening right before my eyes. Maybe I couldn't see that transformation because maybe I had a jaded view of them, and on the other hand, I wasn't walking in my full power of what I was supposed to do. So since I've been doing this, amazing things been happening. Just the mindsets of the people, or maybe it's just that I think differently about people. I try to see the best in everybody that I come in contact with. And I'm choosing my words more wisely. I'm choosing not to get into the fray of chaos or argument with them, even when there is a challenging situation. So maybe that's why I see nothing but bad situations, or what other people would call bad situations. See what happens when you do a mind shift, a mind change, or a shift in consciousness? Everything you come in contact shifts and changes. Guess what? It's an old saying. It's called the Midas touch. Everything you touch turns to gold. All because you took the time to change your mind. You invested in positive thinking about yourself, number one, a positive self-love of yourself. You will get the Midas touch. Everything you touch, everybody you come in contact with will be affected by that energy. Everyone. And then people will notice it and come to you and say, you seem more peaceful. Why? Because I am more peaceful. Number one, I don't have the hustle and bustle lifestyle. I choose where and what I want to do at any time in any given day. And I also know that everything is taken care of. All bills are paid, already paid, done. See, I haven't adopted the lifestyle and the mindset that most people have. Oh, I got to pay this bill. I hope I have enough money at the end of the month. No, I know that money will be there plus more. There's no doubt in my mind that it will be there. That's taken care of. So we have to walk on water. We have to raise above the mindsets and the consciousness of people that are thinking negative. Now, it's not to say people are bad. They're just thinking negative. They just don't know how to use their thoughts in a positive way at this point in time. But anybody can come up out of that sea of darkness, out of that abyss of desperation and despair. Anybody. It can happen at any time, that shift. For me, it started happening to me many years ago. But in the midst of that, I was still dealing with negative situations or putting myself in negative situations and still mostly thinking on the lower vibrational form. So it took me time to fully come out of that sea of darkness, to be able to walk on water in my situations. And if you stay with me, the listeners that choose to stay on this spiritual path with me, I promise your life will change drastically. You will reap rewards greater than any other rewards you're looking for, and that is you having true peace in your life. Because once you have true peace in your life, then you can take care of the financial, the spiritual, everything comes together. You can see clearly to the path you need to go on. Once I became truly, fully, and embodied what my vision was, and became at peace for who I am, became to love myself more, everything just fell into place. And when things seemed like they weren't falling into place, I sat back and I remained peaceful. It eventually came together, and it came together in such a perfect manner. So, remember, everything we're dealing with is a direct manifestation of our thoughts. We're creating them. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but I keep reminding you, if you look deeply into your situation, you will always see yourself there, being the creator of that situation. There's not one situation I've been involved with that I can't say I did not have a take in creating. Not one. No, Akeem, that's not true. I didn't tell him to cheat on me. I didn't tell her to cheat on me. Sometimes we can push a person in that direction. Not to excuse their behavior, but I'm saying we can be that hard to live with, hard to talk with. We can become an enemy in our own house to the people that care about us. Yes, we have to take responsibility at all levels. If you want that real change, you got to take that 100% of the responsibility in all situations that you're dealing with. There's no leaving nothing out. As a man thinketh, so is he. So be careful what you think. That reminds me, I just quoted that Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. It says, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Now, as I was reading that, I usually like to read the scriptures before that. And verse 4 says, do not overwork to be rich, because of your own understanding cease. Now, y'all hear me talking about, hey, I believe in prosperity, wealth, but it says don't overwork for it. What does that mean? That can be confusing, right? But when you really think about it, it's not confusing. Overworking could mean, and I believe it means, that people are going into situations to make money that they're not really destined to be in. They're going into, like, for instance, a lot of us have jobs we don't like, but we only do them because we feel that's what's going to pay the bills. That's overworking. Because you're in a mental space, you're in a situation that you are not destined to be in. That is not where your divinity lies. That's not going to get you to your goal. Instead of creating that business that you had an idea of, that you allowed your family to talk you out of, or you allowed your own self-doubt of yourself to talk you out of, your own fear of being successful for yourself, talk you out of it, and you go take jobs and do other things, that's overworking. Because what you did was you took another direction that you shouldn't have never took to get back to where you, because eventually, if you really are passionate about things that you want and desire, you're going to come right back to that same idea you had 20 years ago. That same passion, it's going to face you eventually. Now, some people don't, they come back to it and they still don't go into it. But I implore you, do not be that person to get up in age and feel like it's too late. And in my opinion, it's never too late. If you're 100 years old and you got a passion for something, go for it. It's never too late. Time is an illusion. We only quantify time to make sense of our day. But when you really look at things, we only live in this right now. So if you're 100 years, right now you have an idea, you can still move forward into it. If you take the idea that you're too old off the table. Oh, it's too late. I got too many kids. I got this. My husband this. My wife that. My uncle, my aunt. Listen, all those people you're using as an excuse are thinking about something totally different, and they ain't thinking about your dreams. So stop using them as an excuse in your dreams to not move forward with what you want. If the inspiration came into you to do something, that means that was a download, and you must follow it, even to the point where you think it's not going to work. You have, listen, I don't know how many times in my life where I thought something wasn't going to work, and I made a decision to move in another direction and turn around. If I just held out just a little bit longer, or if I just did this, I would have got it. It would have happened. You see what I'm saying? And then on the other hand, sometimes drastic things happen, and then you turn around. What you wanted is right there for you. So you sometimes going in that other direction is what you needed to do to get back to where you needed to be, or where you really was passionate for. Now, I know all of the jobs I've taken on my path to get to where I'm at now, they all taught me a lesson. One of the biggest lessons that I don't want to work for anybody. The second lesson is these jobs will never pay me to be successful. Actually, they're paying me just enough to keep me off the street. Just enough. Listen, there's some people I really want to give a shout out to that are really moving in their gifts. Oh, he's not on. But Jason Bay, I see him every day on Instagram posting his apparel, his shirts. He sent me some samples. Thank you again. Posting his passion every day. That's what he's doing on Instagram. He's using Instagram as a tool to get the word out about his product. Are you doing the same? You guys, some of you do have businesses, but you're on Instagram just looking at what other people are doing. Listen, Instagram, Facebook, and all these other social media platforms should be used for making money, not for being nosy about other people's business or sharing a story so people give you likes and make you feel good because they check the little box and say like or loved or frowned against it. You know, looking for approval from people. Use Facebook to look for approval. vanity. Use it to make some money, to show people what you got. You know, and I can really show other people. Another brother, Jeremiah, got a trucking business. 3 or 4 years ago, his life was totally different. Like Eckhart Tolle said, they had to lose some things. And one of the biggest things they had to lose was an old mindset. And become a new man and create a new mindset. And then guess what? New things, better things started to happen. They even lost people along the way. Some people lost people. I've lost some people along the way. But if you stay true to yourself, you never really lose people. Sometimes those very people you thought you lost come right back around. They got to go to their journey. They have to walk the journey to see what you saw so long ago. And sometimes we get impatient with people and we say, man, they can't see it. I can't fool it. They don't think like I think. You know, we got to get out of that judgment phase and let people evolve or move into the spirit of their divinity on their own, because they got to go through certain things to fully appreciate the moment that they're going to stand in. And they're going to go through even more. You're going to go, even where I'm at right now, I'm going to go through even more. Every step of elevation is a newer challenge. And I met a big one this week. A big one. Some ways I slipped, in some ways I prevailed. You know, the prevailing part came on the part of some assistance. Because if I had done it on my own, I would have went right on down. So that came with someone else's mind elevated. So two elevated minds was able to walk on water. See, two is always better than one. You know, we love to think we could do all of this alone, but really, when I really think about it, and I learned to appreciate that today, everywhere where I am now was because of someone else helped me there. Whether it was an experience of conflict or experience of peace, it really helped me get to where I am. So everything you deal with is a part of your growth. Everything. So we don't look back at these people and judge them, especially the ones we have conflict. We look back at them and appreciate them. Say thank you for that situation that we went through together, because it helped me see where I need to be better. Once you get to a certain level in this mindset, and every time I feel like I've gotten to a certain level, and my mind, I just see keeping your mind open, operating in peace, and I could see how I could appreciate everybody in my life from the time I was born or before I was born until now, even the ones I had trouble with. You know? Because when I look back on it, I say, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have this, or I wouldn't be here. So we have to be thankful. That's why it means to be thankful in all things. That scripture is really right. All things work for the good of the Lord. And when I mean by Lord, I'm talking about for you. I'm not talking about a God in the sky. I'm talking about you. Everything works for your good. Everything is working in your favor. As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think things are working for you, they work for you. If you think things are not working for you, they don't work for you. Nothing is anything to you. You're the one. You are the God. thing to hear from, because it goes against everything you've been taught in the church. And I've told you this before, and I'll say it again. I think all religions are the problems of the world because it creates a mindset of needing something outside of you to fix something inside of you. When you really should look inside of you, because everything you've been born with is already there. I know ultimately everyone is good on the inside, no matter what. I've seen people with disabilities behave with more love in them than people who apparently have no physical disabilities. Only disability I have is emotionally disabled. Now, that's something. You have people who have physical limitations, and they manage to get through that and be loving and kind, whereas people who have no limitations, who have no things hindering them from being all that they can be physically, and they hold back on giving love and being nice to people because they're thinking, if I do this, they're going to take advantage of me. Whereas the people with the disabilities, some of the people that I know with disabilities, they should be the one cautious because they're in this limited capacity, and people can take advantage of them. Really, they're in that vulnerable position, but they let it all out. And yet, us who can do everything, we hold it all in. So who's really disabled here? I think emotional disabilities are more disabling than physical disabilities. Some people are emotionally crippled. And this is why life is so hard for them. So, with that being said, I hope I inspired people today with that message. I had an interview with Dr. Daniels today, and I'm going to do that the rest of the show. So before I move on to that, I just want to make sure everyone get their questions answered if they have any. If they want to chime in on this spiritual journey, I'm taking you guys on. Because actually what you're doing is this. This journey that I'm going on, you're following me in my journey, and this whole journey is for me. I just having you experience it with me. See, I can't change anybody. I'm not making anybody better. I can't. It's impossible. You make yourself better. You choose to make yourself better. Now, if something I say inspires you to do something, I'm thankful that you took something that I'm doing to make myself better to make yourself better. Once again, I'm thankful for y'all to go on this journey. But remember, keep your thoughts strong. Keep them, when I mean strong, keep them always in a positive space. Speak life into your situation. Like I repeat what Reverend Ike says, I go forth into life with a loving attitude. And if I want to make some more money, I go forth into life with a money-making attitude. And I say it with enthusiasm. Now to the what do you call the physical mind, that looks crazy. What is he talking about? Why is he's radical, losing his mind. Now the question is, what mind am I losing? I'm losing an old negative mind. Yes, I am losing my mind. I'm losing that old mind that kept me from being successful, that kept me from being loved, that kept me from being peace. So they are right. I am losing my mind. But I'm gaining a new mind, a peaceful mind. Somebody's got their hand up. Somebody want to chime in? Thank you. Jael for saying I'm on point. Appreciate that. Let's go with 503-890.
Peace to the gods.
Peace to the God. What's going on, brother? How's life treating you? Well, how are you treating life? Because life is not.
Man, I can't complain. I really can't complain. I'm fortunate to still be in the position that I'm in, considering the pandemic that's going on. You know, so
Right.
I'm not doing too bad considering it. Especially I'm still an employee. You know, I'm still working. So and hasn't really stopped for me. So you know, I'm thankful and grateful for that.
I'm like you. I'm thankful for this whole COVID-19. It has made some profound changes in my thinking, and actually, you know, I've become very much more peaceful. So I give COVID-19 thanks. This whole thing that doing, thank you, because this whole summer is a change. That's what I'm saying. You could take these situations and make them chaos and make it gold. This is really what alchemy is all about. You know, I don't know if you ever got that book, The Alchemist. I think everybody gets that, The Alchemist.
No, what is that book about, Akeem?
It's about a boy who's a shepherd, and he meets a guy in the desert. Or he meets a guy, I don't know if it was, and the guy told him to look for his personal, wow, I can't think of the word. It's supposed to be like, it's something that made it to his destiny. Look for that. I can't think of the word. But he's on this journey, this quest, looking for his really he's looking for himself, to find the truth about himself, but they use it as he's looking to go to Egypt to see the pyramids, and but he meets this old man who shows him, tells him what he needs to be looking for. He loses things, he loses all his sheep, he's shepherding, but then he gains something. But at the end of the story, he has to make the desert, something he has to do in the desert, like talk to the wind and make it do certain things, or he was going to die. But I don't want to give away the whole story, but it's a good story about consciousness and perception. How he was, the thing he was looking for, he had already seen it early in the book. He was there. And he went through this whole journey through the desert back to the place that he was in the very beginning of the story.
Man.
Yeah. So it's just like with us. We're looking, what are we really looking for? Are we looking for a job? Are we looking for money? No.
No, I think we're looking for happiness.
And what is happiness? It's the truth about ourselves. Knowing who you are, who you fully are, what your full divinity is. Once you understand that, the happiness comes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
It comes. You don't have to worry about being happy because I know who I am. I'm happier now because I know who I am. Before I didn't know. I was foggy.
Right.
I was foggy. I had an idea, but now I know who I am. And there's no need for me to get upset and do all of these other things, because once I know it, I just know what I need to do when I confront those situations.
Right.
You see?
Yeah, makes sense.
You're really looking for yourself. But see, the problem is we're looking for ourselves in pastors, in churches, and all these other things, in books. But instead of going into yourself to look for yourself, we go everywhere else. It's like having keys in your pocket, and you're looking for them somewhere else.
Right.
You see?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I got the audio book of that thing, and I've listened to that audio book about 10 times, literally. The guy who narrates it is very good at bringing the story to life. A lot of audio books, it's hard to bring the story to life, or the people they use don't bring it to life. This guy, Jeremy Irons is the one who narrates it. He's the actor from The Three Musketeers. Remember the old one? Jeremy Irons. Look him up. He's the one. He's got that accent. Very good storyteller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to check that out because I drive for a living, so it's easier for me to listen.
Yeah. That's right, Jamie. The voice just tells he's looking for his personal legend. That's the thing. He's looking for his personal legend.
Okay.
And really symbolic, he's looking for who he is himself.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
I can see that. Okay. Yeah, and I like I like that you always play Reverend Ike. I go to YouTube and I got a Reverend Ike playlist. So when I see a title that I like, then I'll play it, then I'll save it, and then now I play it so much, it's the main suggestions that come up when I go to my YouTube, open it up. It'd be suggestion Reverend Ike, and then some other music I listen to, and I'll share some of it with people sometime now and again, like, this reminds me of somebody I know too. So let me send it to him or her, and they do what they want with it, Yep.
Right. Yeah, Reverend Ike, I listen to him. Lately, we haven't listened to him as much, but I'm going to get back on. I fell off the wagon. But I have all his full, those ones on YouTube are short clips. But I have the full length sermon.
I can listen to him for so long because he says so much. He packs it all in. Or they do edit. I think they edit him, and it'd be clips and clips and clips, and to make one video. But he says so much in one. Like, whoa, I got to stop it. Well, reflect back. What did you say? That's powerful. And then when he say it and he make the congregation say it, then I'll be saying it out loud to myself too. Repeating things back and stuff.
Since you've been doing that, how has things been for you? Like when you do that, you see the results of just listening to those positive messages?
I tell you, the most immediate result that I see is my day is a lot better, I should say. Well, once I do that, I'm in a much happier mindset for some reason. I just feel better that day when I do it. And then sometimes maybe during the week, I might see some things transpire for me, some goals I was hoping for, or maybe something unexpected came out, something else I was looking for previously or something. But definitely, most immediately though, I'm definitely feel better, in the moment that day.
I know for me, money comes when I play Reverend Ike. When I play him, and I know, sometimes things look a little like I'm not where I need to be, or I think I'm not where I be. But Reverend Ike, quick remedy is, and it's like clockwork. So just imagine if I just been more consistent, just play it. And I play, over and over. I play it through all the way through. When I go pick up my daughter or drop her off, I play. That's what I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like really.
It's important for me to repeat. Yep.
Yeah, I don't like really talking. I like listening to, inspiring messages when I'm in the car by myself. That's what I do. I'll play something. And it just really, I'm meditating while I'm driving because before I know it, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't even remember driving. I just know I started, played that, and I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's deep.
Yeah. Anyway, man, I appreciate your comments, man.
Yep. No problem. Actually, I'd like to add one more thing and also ask a question.
Go ahead.
Actually, two more things. One, I want to thank you for every time that you say something about the Bible and then you break it down in layman's terms, like you did earlier today. You mentioned, well, this scripture says this, but what it really means is this. Man, I ain't never really known what they really meant. And so every time you do on one of your shows, you say those things, I really appreciate that because that's like a lot of education and learning for me when you drop those, man. So I'll ask that you keep dropping those.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I appreciate. I don't know where else to get that. I really don't know where else to get the truth from. You know what I mean? Because I could read something, but then I don't know. I might not be able to know how to break it down myself, or if I am interpreting it myself, I might be misinterpreting it. So I appreciate hearing from someone, who does know more about it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Now I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this. You could do the same thing. It's just like Christ told to his disciples. He said, "You will do greater things than I." What it is my method is I just sit and I meditate on the scriptures constantly. When I'm walking and driving, they come to me. And honestly, when I brought that scripture out about the Peter walking on water, that wasn't the part of the plan of the show. It's just as I was talking, it hit my consciousness, and the revelation came out right there. I'm just telling you, that's just how it works. So the more you get into with what's inside of you, that becomes a natural thing. A lot of people say to me, "Well, that's great, you did that. How, what is that?" Everybody has the same ability. The difference between myself and others that can do this is that I don't rely on other people to tell me what it means. I go within, and then it opens up the revelation. Hey, this is what this is. This water, and I know what, from studying what water represents on a symbolic level, it means people, because in the Bible it's about many waters of people, rivers of people. It's always, water represents a great number of people. And right now, a great number of people are in a depressed mind state. There's very few of us that are rising above that sea of darkness. Dark thinking, you see?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And what was the other comment I wanted to say was, you say, I think you just said every time you listen to Reverend Ike, you end up getting rewarded, usually like with more money that comes to you. And for me, that's funny. That happens to me whenever I pray to my ancestors' altar. Things that seem like it's out of my control. I just pray to them and I just thank them, and sometimes I just thank them just for me still being alive, just for me, just things still going well for me. I just be appreciative, and sometimes I'll have a specific request, and then I don't know where it's gonna come from, how it's gonna happen, but man, they just keep happening, So I'm thankful.
That thankful is a very powerful thing. Being thankful for all things really brings prosperity to you, peace and prosperity to you. Just being thankful. Yeah,
it is. It definitely is. I can attest to that in my own life. And my question. I was going to ask you a question.
I might have to take a pause. My daughter's going to call at 8 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to have to pause. And I see your hands up on other callers. I will get you as soon as this one's over. So she's going to call in a second. But ask your question.
Okay.
And
so my question is using my estate number, is that a good idea or not to obtain the EIN for the trust?
Hold on, Lord. All right. Give me a second. I'm going to answer that as soon as I come talk to my daughter. All right?
Okay. No problem.
All right.
Okay.
Peace to the gods. You're listening to Hindsight Radio.
All right, peace. I'm back, man. I could have played that song all the way through, but I know y'all anxious to get these questions out of the way or these comments out of the way. So, I cut it short. Something about Latin music, just gets me going. Okay, let me get back to this brother's question. All right, brother.
Yes.
You said, is it all right to use your social to get your estate number? Is that correct?
Yeah, the estate number. Yeah, the estate number to obtain the EIN for the trust.
The estate number, you have to use the social to get it.
No, I'm sorry. That's not the question, Akeem.
Okay.
No, the question is it a good idea or not to use the estate number to obtain an EIN for the trust?
They probably won't let you do it now because couple of years back, they stopped you from using anything other than a social to get an EIN.
Okay. Then I'll just go with my trustees
You
and
can
who's
get an
not on this
EIN number
information.
with anything.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
if you're gonna do that, mail in the form. Do not try to go online and get it. Mail it in or fax it.
Oh, if I'm gonna use my trustees social.
Right. Mail it in.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That's the workaround. Sometimes they kick it back and sometimes they don't.
Okay.
Right.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Let's go to the next caller. We got 919948.
Hi, Akeem.
Hey, what's going on?
So I agree with what you've been talking about. Everything we deal with is a part of growth, and certain people we deal with can give us opportunities and can help us get to where we need to go. I know for me, if I didn't keep an open mind on certain things, I wouldn't have the blessings I have now. So I definitely agree. And I had a question for you.
Yeah, what's the question?
What made you come to the awareness of getting rid of some of your old thoughts?
Oh, good question. A lot of things. It wasn't just one thing. Well, mostly what it was is I kept seeing the same thing over and over. And then I listened to a Reverend Knight clip long time ago. I mean, many years ago. I used to just listen to the ones they had on YouTube, like the other brother was doing, like the little 15. And he said something that said everything you're seeing is a direct reflection of your own thoughts. Then I read other books like Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle, and other speakers on that brought that awareness to me. Then the real truth of the matter, I took a hard look at my thoughts. And then I made a connection to the things that I was experiencing and said, well, I did think this before. I mean, just to be more personal, even when I was in relationships, I saw cheating going on, which I at the time thought was against me. I had those same, I was in that same mindset. Either I expected it to happen or I was thinking like that. What you put out does come back to you. What you think does reflect out there in the open. And if people are really being honest, like I use cheating as an example because a lot of people use that as a basis to end a relationship. Even myself have done that. But with you really being honest with yourself, I don't think there's anybody out there that didn't have that thought in their consciousness somewhere when they saw that in the other person or experienced that. Everybody loves to play victim in that area. I'm using this as an example. Everybody likes to play victim in that area when it comes to someone cheating on them. You cheated, that's why. And they use that as the ultimate reason to break up or end a relationship. But if that person is really being honest with themselves, in their consciousness, they envision that experience first, or they even done that somewhere in the relationship before they manifested that for themselves.
Right. Yeah, I think it's all about being honest with I think it's about being honest with yourself. That's the only way, we could move forward is when we're honest with ourselves. So anyway, I like listening to your shows in the past, and now I just feel like your messages have been very inspiring, even more than the past for me, anyway.
Well, thank you.
I just wanted to,
first off, I can't let you off the hook here. This is Beth from the show, Raising Independent Thinkers, by the way, people. This is Beth. Well, you're going to tell people about, this is, So, there's also a webinar coming up. I think it's October 3rd, and that's She's going to teach on how to do the homeschooling properly, because a lot of people just take the kids from the school and don't do it properly, ended up in trouble. So she's going to teach y'all the rules on that, and I'm going to chime in on how to connect this to your nationality and make this work all the way around. So that's October 3rd. It's only $50, not a lot of money, to learn how to train your children properly instead of letting them get indoctrinated by.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, I know it's going to help a lot of people. I'm getting some positive feedback. People are saying they're going to get on and participate. So we thank all of those people that are going to take the initiative to learning about it and get that information. Even if you don't have anyone you can homeschool now, I think it's still good to get on for the knowledge, because you don't know. You might meet someone else you can help, or you might have children later on, or be in a situation where you will want to homeschool. It's good to get that knowledge.
Right.
But yeah, thanks for the comment. You have anything else to say?
Nope, that's it.
That's it? Huh?
That's it.
I'm kidding. All right. Thank you. That's Beth.
Okay.
She's a great host here on Hindsight. And on a personal level, Beth has helped me see a lot of things that I haven't seen now. So she's kind of playing her role down a little bit. So, and I'm thankful to her for that. Let's get this other caller. 313737.
What up, Akeem? What it do? Pure energy, brother.
Pure energy, peace. What's going on, Septimides? How's everything going?
Oh man, everything is going beautiful. I mean, can't complain. I can't complain, man. My crib, I got that stuff straightened out with the house. Remember I was telling you about the land bank and all that?
Yeah. I remember that. So you got it straight. I'm glad you got that all straight.
Man, ended up getting all that straight, man. I'm putting the house back together, man. And I just like I want to just touch on what the brother was talking about, how you, thoroughly break down what you be reading to us, because you, like myself, we some advanced individuals. I was sort of an advanced individual before I came to Hindsight in any of the information that you guys were putting forth. And like I've always said before, me coming on that show back in 2015, and being around you guys, man, in a spiritual sense, man, really has uplifted me personally. And I know for a fact more than 20 lives that come in and off this show, man. So, and with you breaking down everything and how you break it down, like the brother said, it brings to light the normal person who wouldn't really get a full understanding of what they reading or what the reverend or the preacher is just telling them about the Bible. And I just want to give you props for that, for doing it for years.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate it. Well, this is full-time work now on the air.
I know that.
Full-time work. This is all I'm doing. I told him, no more talking about UCC, this and that. This is all I'm doing for my shows now on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now, I know there might be a few people who be disappointed in that, but I got to do what I'm being led to do. That's all I'm going to do. Now, I'm still teaching remedy outside of this,
right,
because that really helps people on a physical level. But on the show, I just want to, I know this will be more effective than learning how to beat a court case. Because why? If your mind is straight, you ain't got to worry about a court case.
Yep. Man, and that's so powerful.
I've seen spiritual people go into court and say nothing, myself included, and win.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen spiritual people not even have to go into the courtroom. Just submit some paperwork and bye-bye. Like the brother I was talking about that got the trucking business, right? He just he got on the study, got on the spiritual tip, and he was facing some serious stuff, and they left him alone. Now he got fucking business. Yeah. See how it works? It's not. I always said it's not about paperwork. It's about your spirituality. It's about your walk. About being true to yourself. The brother got in from the very beginning, and I like using him as an example because he's a perfect example of someone taking ownership of their situation. And when I said this brother was facing some serious, I'm talking about life sentence.
Right.
And it just disappeared. You see what I'm saying? It just went away.
Yep. And it happened for me. And I'm a prime example too.
Boom! It just went away. You know.
I'm a prime example too, because like I say, they was like, "Oh no, we own your house." I was like distraught, and something was like, "Don't be distraught, Seth. Don't be distraught. Guess what I need you to do?" It was like what? It was like just send them a copy of that paperwork, pray on it, and watch what happened. I sent it. He said, "Don't send it to the peon. Send it to the CEO." I sent it to the CEO, man. They left me alone, bro. We apologize. Oh, man.
I'm glad it worked out for you, brother. I'm glad it worked. But you know, that it's a mindset change. You got to get rid of old.
Yes. And it's funny now how, like you was talking about, you have to distance yourself from what's not positive, man. I call it pure energy. A lot of people call it spirituality. I like using it as just pure energy. When pure energy surrounds you and you're radiating that outward from within you, man, it ain't nothing that can touch you. Now, you might be slowed down a little bit, but it's not going to stop you. You know? And just keep your head up, man. This is a great show, Hakeem, man. I love you, man, brother from another mother. Been down for years, met you a couple times, man. And, man, it's just always a damn pleasure, just to be listening to you and bringing forth the spirituality of the whole thing. Because pretty soon, and I just want to hit this real quick, how you was talking about how you got to go through something, you got an idea, you go away from it, but you end up coming back around to it. Mm-hmm. I'm in the works of that right now because I'm on your level. I'm on your level as far as the spirituality go. And that's what I'm going to be doing too. I'm going to be bringing it back from a pre-diluvial, sense of how we all got to where we at right now. So that's coming soon. Right. Thank you for the show, man. Thank you for the show.
All right, thank you, brother. All right, peace. Thanks, Optimus.
Peace, Hakeem.
Peace. Well, that's a good, positive message there from 17 years, from all the callers, Beth, everybody. What do I want to say before I close out? Remember, your mind is your greatest asset. Your mind is doing everything for you. And your mind can do everything against you. So protect it at all costs. Remind yourself and protect yourself from negative influences. There's some negative influences we can't help. We have family members we live with, but we can still protect and guard our thoughts. The one thing that we leave wide open and vulnerable is our thoughts. They run wild. We let people run wild in our head with their things and what they're saying. You have to be mindful and be diligent because that's the source of all your power. As a man thinketh, so is he. That's it. That's the key. And one more thing I want to add to what I was talking about with raising above the water, walking on water. What I failed to add in there, what I'm going to add now is, remember, Peter had two things to look at in order to walk, to stay. What made a difference of him walking on water and walking and sinking into the crowd of negative thinking. He had the Christ to look at, or he had the storm to look at, that negative situation to look at. What does Christ represent? Christ represents your higher consciousness, your higher self. Christ is you. So really the story is saying, continue to look within yourself, look into your own thoughts in your mind to check your thinking. Not look at the negative storm, the negative thing. Always look within yourself and look for the positive thing. Because really what Peter was looking at was himself. All he had to do was keep looking at himself. And when he looked away from himself, he lost focus. And he started to sink. And then what happened? What happened in the story? Christ had to reach out, keep him from sinking, right? He was brought back to himself. It always comes to you. Christ's story, the metaphorical story, this Jesus Christ that some people want to call him, some people call him Krishna. They have so many names, right? It's all a story of your mindset, your thoughts. So although you're looking at a storm right now, maybe some of you are, all you got to do is look back within yourself and then you start to walk again. Instead of looking at, and when I say storm, some of us look at that person did something to me. That's the storm you're looking at. He wasn't right. She wasn't right. They fired me. Those are the storms you're looking at. Don't look at those storms. COVID-19 made me lose my job. No. Instead of looking at COVID-19 made you lose your job, look at COVID-19 helped me fire my boss. Get rid of this oppressive boss that I got that makes me come to work at a certain time, leave work at a certain time, take my breaks at a certain time, only gives me enough money to take certain vacations and buy certain cars and buy certain clothes for my children. Look at it as a blessing. They got rid of me. Hey, it's time for me to go do my thing. Some of y'all had the opportunity to do your thing, had months off from going to the job. I know I'm about to step on some toes right now. Some of y'all had months off and wasted it. As soon as your job came a knocking, when your job come back, you ran for it. I'm not saying that to beat up on you. I'm just saying at that time, your consciousness wasn't ready. You were looking at the storm. You wasn't looking within. You weren't looking at the Christ within. But if you had chose to look at the Christ within, you could have made it work. And how far along would you have been if you had chose not to take the job back? But you looked at the storm. I got to pay my bills. I got to pay my car note. I got to pay the lights. You gave that more power. You gave that storm of bills more power over you walking on water. That was your time to shine. There are other opportunities. It's just a choice and a shift in consciousness. You can still do it. And with that being said, you guys have a great and wonderful, peaceful, prosperous life. And good night.